Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? Couldn't think of anything clever to say, so I'll just say that. Welcome to WWPWW, our weekly wrestling podcast on this gray, dreary February rainy day, but it's a good day because it's Friday.
Amen.
Partying, yeah, partying, whoa. Go back to 2012 with Friday by Rebecca Black. Because that's how we bring in the kids and the wrestling fans is talk about a one-hit wonder pop song
Right.
that was made famous on the internet. We know our audience.
That rhymes.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Elimination Chamber is upon us. It is. This Sunday, I cannot wait. I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be good. We get the first women's Elimination Chamber match. Just a month removed from having the first women's Royal Rumble match. So super excited. Can't wait. I bet the guys. No offense to the ladies, but the guys match just has like all the heavy hitters. It has all the marquee names.
Yeah, and the women usually play it safe, and so I'm looking forward to that match.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're not gonna be as intense as the guys. So there's a lot of intensity in that guys match. I mean, there's a lot of testosterone,
especially with Roman and Braun, especially those two guys.
Yeah. In the fact that it's seven guys.
Yeah.
And so I don't. The only thing I'm wondering is who will close out the show. If it's going to be the women, like they did the Royal Rumble, and then they're going to do the signing of Ronda Rousey. I don't know. I don't know what's going to close the show. But I'm ecstatic. I'm stoked about it. So.
Yeah, totally. I just can't wait. I'm so just waiting with bated breath, just in anticipation. Can't wait. Elimination Chamber is one of my favorite match types. It's really cool. And the new square one, the new one, is a very different look than what I'm used to, but it totally works, and it's really awesome. And just can't wait. I mean, unless they totally swerve us, we know probably what the outcome will be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just we know what they're doing.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people think that's bad, but no, I mean, a good idea is a good idea, even if you see it coming from a mile away. So,
yeah, I'm ready for the Roman Reigns era to be here. I'm ready for Brock to be faded into the background, because I think there's so many good things that they could do with Roman Reigns and Brock or Braun. There's so many different things they could do. I'm ready for that era to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's, if you want to take it in for a year, have Roman have the title for a year. I have no problem with that. But I'm definitely ready for this Brock Lesnar reign to be over.
And also it does wonders for not just Roman, but even more so the guy who will beat Roman for the title.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which I know everybody, including myself, thinks it will probably end up being Finn, who will hold the belt after Roman. That's what I'd like to see, but I think it'd do wonders. Who can beat him? And then he's just walloping on Finn, and then Finn just shows his heart and determination, and then finally gets over. Even though he is over, Vince is just stupid. Anywho, but pardon me. So before we jump into the recaps and then of course our predictions for this weekend, do you have any big news?
Well, I've been watching 205 Live and NXT lately. I've been kind of really drenched in those two shows. And 205 Live, they're doing a tournament right now. I think it's kind of interesting. They've actually brought in Roderick Strong. They've added him to the 205 Live roster. They've added Mark Andrews to the 205 Live roster. I like him. I enjoy watching him. And Buddy Murphy, who was a part of the tag team that was with Alexa Bliss when she was coming up into NXT. He made his debut, and he looks impressive. He's got a wicked finisher. Like I can't describe it. It's wicked. It's cool looking. I hope to see it again in slow motion, because I can't describe it. It's so cool looking. Super intense guy. I love the gimmick with the whole the best kept secret. I like that idea. I'm Buddy Murphy, the best kept secret. Cool idea. I'm glad he's in 205 Live. They made a big deal because he's bulked up pretty big, and they had made a big deal of could he get underweight.
Mm-hmm.
The week prior he got like a pound under. It was like 204, and then this past week he cut, quote unquote, 4 pounds off of his weight. So anyway, his match was really good. I can't remember who he wrestled against, but he looked really impressive. So if you're not watching 205 Live, check it out. This tournament has been pretty good. I'm pretty stoked to see the finish. I do hope when it's all said and done that Cedric Alexander stands as the cruiserweight champion, because previous to all of what's going on now in 205 Live, he was set to have a match against Enzo Amore, and that kind of just got ripped out from under him. He is great talent, probably one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE right now. He definitely deserves a cruiserweight title, and so I hope they do right by him, make him the title holder, keep him as a good baby face, and then go forward from there. And so that's 205 Live. NXT. Johnny Gargano is no longer signed to the NXT in storyline. I love the storyline between him and Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa is.
Did he get involved in the match?
He did.
Okay, I figured.
The whole match. I mean, it was an okay match. Obviously, it didn't. It wasn't. It was Almas versus Gargano again for like the 4th time. Their takeover match was definitely 5-star. It should have been 6-star, but that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because Meltzer, you set a precedent. That was a 6-star match, whether you think it was or not. Anyway, it wasn't on that level of match. It was still a decent match, probably 3.5 star. It was just there for a kind of storyline. And so at the end of the match, Gargano had Almas in his finish or his submission move, and prior to that, Almas accidentally hits the ref out of the ring, and then, like I said, Gargano put Almas in his finisher, and Tommaso Ciampa came out with the crutch, nails him on the back of the head, leaves, and then Gargano gets pinned, and one of the stipulations was he has to leave NXT. And so afterwards, I watched the aftermath stuff prior to the match. The aftermath stuff, you have Regal and the ref who did the match, and Gargano. And Regal is like downtrodden. His face is so, he's just like, I'm sorry, Johnny, but that was a stipulation. Here's the stuff you got to sign. And the ref was like, hey, I want to take a minute. We've known each other for 10 years. I want to apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. But I mean, Gargano had to sign the papers, and he's no longer with NXT. He has to fulfill all the quote unquote all the dates that he has up until this to that point, and he's no longer with the company. So quote unquote with the company, and so I like these kind of storylines if they're done well, and I think this one will be done well. I don't know how they're going to bring him back into the fold, or if this is a jumping off point. They're going to be like, okay, you're no longer with NXT, so WWE can sign you. Now you're on 205 Live or whatever they do with him. I don't know, but we've got to see Ciampa versus Gargano. We've got to.
I actually have a thought of how to do that.
Okay.
Because I actually watched NXT last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because I wanted to watch that match because I heard that this is the episode that match was on, so I watched it. Give it a couple weeks. Have Johnny Gargano be the mystery, the surprise rather, opponent to challenge Bobby Roode for the United States Open Challenge.
I think that would be cooler.
And then, in the match, Ciampa comes out and wallops him again. And so, then I think that'd be a good jumping because, you get a dream match that is like one of those matches that you probably, at least I didn't think about until it just randomly popped in my head. I'm like, oh, yeah, give me that. Because, I think it'd be a pretty decent match. I think it'd be pretty good. And then you continue that storyline with him and Ciampa or, So that's just my idea of how I would do it.
That's a good point because you got a lot of the NXT guys going to SmackDown anyway. I really don't want either of those guys on 205 Live, even though I think it would give it a shot in the arm a little bit. I think you should build Cedric Alexander to be the babyface.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Because as amazing as Cedric Alexander is, if you put Gargano in there, people are going to start to, kind of push him out of frame, because they're going to want to see Gargano and stuff like that. And because both those guys are like so over, but I think Gargano's a little more so. That if you brought him into 205 Live, I agree with you 100%.
But I like that fantasy booking. I think it's a great idea. The only, outside of the fact that I do believe NXT fans would watch SmackDown more. They do. I think that's probably a good statement, is that they watch SmackDown more, and so that's a good place to put them. The only problem I can see is those people who don't watch NXT, when he shows up, are like, who are these people? But I don't care.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think this is something that could be put on the main stage. Definitely, that's a good idea to have him come out for the U.S. title, and then Ciampa just following everywhere, no matter what he does, just following everywhere and beating the sign out of him. It's a good idea. Great idea. Do you have anything else before we get into the Raw and SmackDown reviews?
No, I can't think of anything. I haven't really heard of anything. So.
All right. Well, let's jump into the Raw and SmackDown review. I don't know. This week, Raw is fresh on your mind, and so we're going to go ahead and start off by saying, Caleb, what'd you think about Raw?
I thought Monday Night Raw was...
You're wrong! I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Like Dana Carvey in the McLaughlin group skit.
Wrong!
Yeah, it's funny. I watched Raw and SmackDown both the nights they were on, but for whatever reason, Raw is just much more fresh in my mind. I think just because it was, in my mind, a little better. It was more epic. Okay. So
it's a 2-hour match.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was this is just my humble opinion. You may disagree with me, everybody out there. It was one of my favorite go-home shows in a while because it was not dull. It was never boring. It was super, super fun to watch, amazing. Like you said, yeah, it was basically just a 2-hour match for most of it, which I loved. The gauntlet match was awesome. It wasn't just like, quick 5-minute bursts and then you're out and then something like, Roman and Seth, which I don't know if Roman and Seth or Roman and John was the best, but okay, I'm just going to take those two matches, those two segments of the gauntlet match as like one thing because it was just Seth shined. I'm glad they let Seth shine in this match. Like he, just like Triple H, I was like, he's such a good heel that I hate him. Like I hate it, but this babyface run has been pretty successful. As initially though it wasn't. People were like, all right, it's kind of boring. He needs to go back to being a heel because he's just so natural at it. But and so the beginning segment with him and Roman starting out, I loved that. That was great. Just their whole back and forth, and one of my favorite things was, I think it was when he did the ripcord knee. Roman like falls down and then he just gets right back up and then goes and gets right in his face. I don't know what it was about that, but that got me like really stoked. I'm just like, these guys need to have another one-on-one match. Like, give me a proper main event 30-minute match between these guys. And
it sounds like that might be what's one of the first things out after WrestleMania is that they're going to put these two in a program.
Yeah, I would dig it. I totally would because see, Roman's one of those rare oddities where I think it was Adam Pacitti. I don't think it was Simon from What Culture, but I think it was Pacitti said like, Roman is like he's like an NFL player crossed with a puma. Like, he's big, he's jacked, but he's so sleek and athletic and stuff like that. And so like he's one of those rare oddities where he can beat and lose to both the giant guys and the smaller guys because he's in that perfect middle ground. And he can match up well with, somebody like Seth, who's just 5 pounds away from being a cruiserweight, and then a dude like Braun, who's like, a $110 more than he is. And so, and it was just, so that whole segment was great. Their whole back and forth was great. I'm glad that Seth, eliminated him and then, eliminated Cena. The whole segment with him and Cena was awesome. just it was awesome. It was. I think I might put the Gauntlet match on my top 10 favorites. Maybe something will come along and push it down because I'm sure we'll get some amazing matches this year. But I'm putting it on my top 10 because I just enjoyed it, and I loved Seth stealing the AA. That was really awesome. Because he did the same thing to Orton a couple years ago. He had a steel cage match where Orton couldn't use the RKO, or he'd be disqualified. So Seth did the RKO, and I was like, oh. So yeah, that was awesome. And then was it Elias came out next, I think, or
yeah, Elias was the next one.
Yeah. And yeah, that was great. Just the first two segments, and then the rest of it was good too. And then Braun was the last man standing, which both of you and I kind of thought that was what would happen. But yeah, I can't remember much else that happened about Monday Night Raw because the Gauntlet match was so good. Like there was women's match, I think, right?
There was
wasn't there like a tag team?
A 6-woman tag team match. The bad guys versus the good guys.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, was kind of interesting. They're going into Elimination Chamber with the pairings kind of like Alexa has Mickie James. Mickie James is going to have Alexa's back.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the pairings with Sasha and Bayley, and then the other two. And so I'm interested in seeing where that goes, and if they're going to even pull the trigger on. I think they're going to turn Bayley heel. I think that's what they're going to do because there was last week, it was this week. Bayley accidentally hit Sasha out or something like that, and so that nobody picked that up, but I did. And so I think they're slowly doing or maybe they're just playing with us.
Yeah.
They could be just playing with us.
Yeah,
But yeah, there was that 6-woman tag team match. There was Asuka confronting, or Nia Jax confronting Asuka, which was a weird segment. What else was there? I don't know because I only got like the Gauntlet match and then those.
Yeah.
What was the last
thing that happened?
Yeah.
I know, right? It's hard to remember. Yeah, what did happen? Something with Kurt or?
I don't remember Kurt ever coming out, to be honest.
I don't remember either. I just remember the Gauntlet match, and I remember there was a women's tag match. And yeah, that's about the Asuka. Yeah, there's that weird Asuka segment with Nia Jax. That was weird. We're Googling it, folks, because we can't remember for the life of us what happened. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm blanking too. I can't remember what happened.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to think about this show because the best thing was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that this was Vince McMahon's idea.
The Gauntlet match?
Yeah, like he came up with the idea, hey, let's do the Gauntlet match. I was like, that makes sense. And then he and so he approved it, like that was his idea, and then he approved, yeah, let's go 2 hours. Like, what? I mean, I'm pretty sure like everybody backstage was like, wait, you really want to do just one match for 2 hours? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you have it. You're trying to raise ratings, and this match was amazing. The concept of going 2 hours and having Seth do like half of that time, they're touting as the longest time in a match or something like that. It was the 6-woman match was at the end.
Okay.
What else was there? Because like I said, I only got that was it. It was because I think they did promos for. Those were the only 3 matches that I saw, or 3 things that I saw.
Yeah, and those are the only 3 things I remember. I don't remember anything else happening.
I mean, 2 hours. Obviously, 2 hours. Maybe that was it because 2 hours was the whole first match, or maybe an hour and a half. I can't remember. But I know they teased Ronda Rousey signing and a couple other things. But well, I guess that's Raw.
yeah, that's pretty sure. Yeah, just the Gauntlet match was amazing. I kind of droned on about it a little because just the beginning parts especially were good, and then but yeah, It was good. I loved it.
I think one of my favorite things about that match was when the Miz realized that the last person was Braun Strowman. Like, his face was great, and him running out of the ring. Like, the Miz can do no wrong right now. He's a perfect heel. He's a perfect actor in the ring. Like, he's really one of the best talents to watch do anything. Him and Braun Strowman. Speaking of Braun Strowman, my favorite thing of last week, since we weren't able to meet, was Braun Strowman's was Braun Strowman and Elias's segment. Oh my goodness, that was the greatest thing. The greatest thing. I'm not going to say ever, but it was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
I mean, oh my goodness.
Just the look on his face when he was smiling, like when the light came on him, and he's just sitting there, smiling, doing the Elias thing, and then he picks up the great big old bass and dong 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 dong, like
to break it, because you always got to do that so hard that it will break.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a prop thing, but he's got to totally do that. He's like, and he picks it up and goes and. Oh, it's so funny.
It was great.
That was a great thing.
And the sound when he broke it on Elias, that was amazing.
And I had to watch that. Like, I had to watch their slow motion to realize that Elias didn't take all of it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Elias took a bunch of that, but no, it was the ground and all that stuff. But just Braun is just amazing. Like, in Elias is one of those guys that has grown on me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to Justin Roberts' podcast, and he was like, you know what I would do, and I think this was pre this match. He's like, you know what I would do? I would make Elias and Braun and Miz the faces going forward after. He's like, do the Roman thing, whatever. These three guys, they're gold. Let them go forward. And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Miz is, like I said, is that great, almost Ric Flair-ish type heel. He's obviously doesn't have all that flair like stuff. I mean, he's got the Hollywood.
Yeah, he's more prissy Hollywood than
than I'm the best ever. Woo!
Yeah, over the top music producer type guy that Flair did. Yeah.
And so, I mean, he's kind of that type. Everybody loves Braun. He's getting better on the mic by the week. I think he could be one of the greatest baby faces. I remember listening to podcast. Which one? The Brother Love, the Bruce Pritchard podcast. They're talking about the Undertaker. They're going through the Undertaker's career in WWE, and they divided it up. And I remember them talking about how Undertaker came in as a bad guy, and Bruce is like, I don't know how you're like. Vince wanted to make him face, wanted to make Undertaker face, and Bruce is like, what? How are you going to make him face? And I think that's the same concept was with Braun. Like, he was a strong heel. I did not mind him coming out and just being a bad guy. But it's kind of that same concept with The Undertaker, as he comes out as a heel, and they just transition seamlessly to an over babyface. And I think they could keep him kind of as that babyface monster guy that Undertaker was. That even Andre, when he was a babyface, that was really well done. And then Elias is another heel. I think they just need to work on their babyface. Obviously, AJ is doing a great job on SmackDown, but even if you brought him over, I don't know. But I agree with Justin. I think those three guys are what WWE needs to build on right now. But anyway, I know we didn't have much to talk about Raw.
Yeah,
it was just the gauntlet match.
Just the gauntlet match was amazing, so we just want to talk about that. So, all right, so I guess we can hand in our report card, so to speak. So.
Sure.
Monday Night Raw, what would you give it?
The gauntlet match was an A+. I'm fine with what they did with the 6 women tag match. It wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
The Asuka stuff fell on its face. I mean, she messed up her lines, which I understand. The language barrier and kind of getting tripped up and stuff. But it was just weird selling, and I don't know. That match is going to be interesting on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of fell flat for me, and so I'd give it like an A- maybe.
A-?
Yeah. What about you?
I'd give it a B+. But I'm kind of hinging on giving it an A-, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move up, give it an A- too. Yeah. Just that gauntlet match made this, and it really And the women's tag match was not bad. It was good. But it's just, when you have all that star power and you have 2 hours to showcase it, and you have 7 men, which I'm assuming they'll start with 3 guys in the ring. I'm sure they'll still have 4 pods, but they'll start with 3 guys in the ring. So, but yeah, just you couldn't it was just such a great way to start it, and the fact that it dominated the whole show, it got me more excited for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and bump up, also give it an A- because that really just made it. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Great show. Go back and watch just the Gauntlet match. You'll probably to see it in its entirety, because I don't know if they cut a lot of stuff out for the Hulu version or what. So you may just have to wait, 14 days or whatever it is for it to go up on the network, or whatever. But
12 months or something like that.
So now we will move to Smack Diddly Down Live. Jeremy, SmackDown is fresh in your mind as Raw was more fresh in mine. So you'll talk about SmackDown first. What did you think?
It was an okay show. I think the wrestling was really, really good. I don't want to say tired. I want the payoff from the whole Shane McMahon hating on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I want that payoff now, so we can move on. That's the only issue I have with SmackDown. I liked Kevin Owens, and I liked Sami Zayn. I liked Sami Zayn coming out to help Kevin Owens. I liked what happened in the back. I loved Kevin's face when Sami's like, I'll lay down for you in the ring. Like, Kevin's face is like, almost as what have I done to my friend to cause him to be this way? And it makes me wonder if they're going to turn him face. I don't necessarily want them to, because I don't know that we've seen a babyface Kevin Owens, at least not in WWE. And so I'm interested in seeing where that goes. I liked all the stuff that they did, like I said, backstage and even up front in the ring. I thought the matches were solid. I liked the New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. I'm interested in seeing where the payoff goes with Chad and Shelton always being screwed out of the stuff that they're doing. I want to see that payoff too. I liked the Jinder Mahal coming out thing. The whole secret thing was a little weird, but I didn't hate it. And then Bobby coming out and Randy coming out. I actually liked that. I think that the speculation is that Jinder's going to be added to that match at Fastlane, which I'm fine with. I think that match would be pretty good.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
What else happened on SmackDown that I really enjoyed? The AJ Styles, like his promo was pretty good this week.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
Like the whole Boyle thing, like that was such a dad joke.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not gonna fault them for that. It's cute. Like, he's a dad. It's a dad joke. It's cool. It's fine.
I think the biggest issue with that was the crowd didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny too. I was just like, that's funny, but the crowd hates it. Which, it happens. So yeah, I liked that. I liked his promo. I liked Kevin. They had another 6-woman tag match. Finally the Riot Squad gets one over on the rest of the crew, which is good. But I think they're asking Sarah Logan to sell too much. I think they just need to let her wrestle.
Yeah.
And they need to let Liv wrestle. I think they just need to be done with both sides on Raw and SmackDown with these ladies. Just let them wrestle. Get over what they're doing. Just let them wrestle.
Yeah.
I am interested in seeing the Charlotte Ruby Riott match at Fastlane. I'm interested in seeing it, but obviously Charlotte will win that because of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Since Fastlane is closer to WrestleMania than Elimination Chamber. I can't think of anything else. Is there anything that you could think of that you enjoyed from? There wasn't anything I disliked. Oh,
yeah.
Even Kevin Owens match versus Dolph Ziggler, it was a good match. Dolph looked really solid.
Really was. It was really good. You're right about
he looked really solid in the ring. I think some of his best work for a bit. It might be the new contract he signed, but I'm alright with that. I think he knows his place in the company. He knows he can make another $1 million or so on a couple of years, and he gets his. I think they need to do more of these kind of contracts where it's like the veteran guys on their way out, they get to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to stay around and talk to the new guys, try to sit under the learning tree, if you will, fine. I don't know that Dolph is necessarily the guy that people should be doing that with, but he should be willing to stay there, or if he wants to go do his comedy act and stuff like that's fine. I think they need to do more of those veteran contracts where they allow those guys to stay or go. I know that I was listening to Edge and Christian's podcast, and they were talking about how when they were coming up, they had all these veterans that they could talk to. They had, I can't remember some of the guys. They dropped like some of the '80s guys, not Brown, Bad News Brown, was one of the guys. They were like, we don't know if we were bothering him so much, but he really enjoyed having conversations with us about different things. And I think that's the only thing that's missing is a lot of these legends aren't around to give tips to the new guys.
Yeah.
Especially the guys who are being bred in NXT, in NXT atmosphere, except for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is down there, and so you got some legends kind of helping the kids along, quote unquote kids along.
Mm-hmm.
They no longer have Dusty, which is sad. But I think they need more of those guys to go down to the Performance Center to teach, to help them come up, because they have such potential in the Performance Center that they could make their homegrown talent so much better than anybody else in the world. And I just wish they would do that. And so anyway, I know that's a long, drawn out thing from the whole Dolph Ziggler thing. But that was just something that was on my mind.
It's a great point.
Dolph signs a not legend contract, but signs the contract he does. They need to have more of those guys around so that people can talk to him. The new guys coming up can talk to him and such. But anyway, what did you think about SmackDown? Sorry.
No, it's
I had to
good,
retrace
man.
where I came from.
It's a good point. You had just enough breadcrumbs to find your way back.
Thanks. All right.
No, it was
I'm
great.
done.
It was great.
You
No, it was great. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I really liked it too. The Dolph KO match was really good. I really enjoyed the main event, the Baron Corbin, AJ Styles. It's really good. Baron Corbin just continues and continues and continues to grow on me. He's just really come. He still needs to kind of bring more intensity on the mic.
Yeah.
There's spurts of that heat, that intensity. Ooh yeah, he's getting angry. When KO came out, he was really bringing the heat, and he's just don't come out here and start saying that you're better than me and stuff like that. You tried to one up me, and then I dropped you like the punk you are, and I was just like, oh yeah, bring that heat. Or was that heat when you were talking to AJ just 2 minutes ago? Because sometimes he kind of does that whole high school jock doing the high school play to impress the cute girl that's also in the play or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's very kind of stilted and kind of wooden.
Mm-hmm.
His dialogue, he needs to kind of always bring that fire and that intensity, and for all I know, maybe he had public speaking, maybe he had stage fright or something like that, so it's kind of hard for him to come out of a shell like that. Hey, I used to be like that, which is kind of hard to believe because of the extrovert and attention whore that I am. But yeah, the whole thing with him and Kevin Owens got back and forth. I want to see more of that from him on the mic. Other than that, he's a package deal. He's the whole menu. It's just that one thing.
My favorite spot in that match was when Baron took AJ outside and threw him at the announcer's table, and then I was like, oh man. And then you see AJ flip over and Lance jumps over and then does the that whole spot was really cool.
That was that was incredibly well placed, like well choreographed. The way he was able to throw him on the announce table and then he landed on his back and then flipped, landed perfectly, and then jumped over the table and then jumped in. Like I thought he was gonna jump from the table onto the apron and then do the, but still it was still cool.
Yeah, I just assumed that was the way it was supposed to be. If it wasn't, it was really good. Like really good lesson. Like I'm just gonna flip over, land on my feet, and then go. It was a good spot. I
know, like it's like if it wasn't intentional, they made a good job of making it look like it wasn't supposed to happen. Like it was just something that happened. Where he's like, oh, I'm fine, okay.
Yeah, the only reason why I don't know if it was is because when Baron gets back in the ring, they were super close to each other for the forearm. Maybe that wasn't supposed to happen, but it was a cool spot. Like, it was just really fun to watch. And the deep six that he had on AJ was super awesome.
He did like a full 360. Yeah, like he spun all the way around.
I felt like he helicoptered. Like he just kept swirling down until he got him.
He's just like, I got you. Ah, I'm dizzy.
It's like almost as if he got too much momentum. He's like, whoa.
He's just like,
it was cool looking. Whatever.
I'm spinning too much, and then just get. Well, I mean, yeah, like Tom Phillips. It sounded like he was actually genuinely marking out about it. Like he was just like, whoa, like. The amount of revolutions Baron Corbin had on that deep six, wow! Like, and it was really, like, it was good. Like the deep six is such a cool move, and it looks cool when he does it. And the way the match ended, where Sammy tried to hit him, and then he just grabbed him and then threw him into the end of days, and then he did the end of days to Kevin Owens too. I thought that was really cool. And so yeah, that was all good. All the stuff you said, I agreed with and was cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see Bobby Roode and Randy Orton square off. And if they do add Jinder to that match, that'll be perfectly fine. I'm sure it'll still be awesome. Yeah, I did like this whole that whole I've got a secret, Bobby Roode, haha, like. It's like that's like old school heel stuff, like coming out and like stirring the pot and stuff like that. So totally dig that. That was good. That was well done. But yeah, I do agree that they do need to just go ahead and stick the landing on the whole, the two authority figures feuding, and then who are also feuding with the two wrestlers who are also feuding with each other.
Yeah,
they just need to execute it. They need to pull the trigger on this and get this over with, and don't drag it out anymore. Just because. Eventually people will get tired of it if you just hold it off too long. And so it's just like they just need to get there. They need to finally get there so we can be ready to be done with it.
And I feel like this week, especially in the backstage segment with Shane and Daniel, like I feel like Daniel's over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just didn't give a whole lot of emotion in that performance. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, no Usos this week. That was
nope.
That was too bad. I was hoping they'd have a match or at least some cool promo or something. But Bludgeon Brothers interrupt the New Day celebration, so I'm wondering if they're going to get involved with the match at Fastlane and they're going to cost New Day an opportunity.
Maybe.
And then New Day will face them, and then they'll beat New Day, and then that'll be the springboard to them taking on Usos. That's just how I see it. But yeah, I'm digging the Bludgeon Brothers more and more. I'm really getting excited for these like just monster guys that they're being booked as, and but yeah, the whole Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable thing I liked the match, and New Day acting a little heelish, so can't wait to see how where all of this goes. I'm really intrigued about all this.
Yeah, my only issue with the Bludgeon Brothers is I wish they would stick with the powerbomb that they do, with the sit down powerbomb thing as their finisher, and not the
double high cross.
Yeah, double high cross.
It's just weird. Yeah,
I get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
The more devastating thing is Rowan throwing the guy down as Luke is.
They should do like a powerbomb facebuster combo, where like was it Harper comes down with a powerbomb and Rowan grabs him by the head and then like does like a sit down reverse facebuster or something like that. That would be crazy.
That would be cool.
Ugh. Trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't think there was much else on.
Yeah, the women's match I really enjoyed. That was really good. I am kind of getting sick of all the 1 versus 1, but the other two were in the corners, and then the 3-on-3. Like, I am kind of getting sick of this because it's just like, you know, second verse same as the first, third verse same as the first. So,
yeah, it makes me want a bunch of talent to come up from NXT, but then realize that they'll be buried because all the talent that's there now. It's hard.
And no Shinsuke, but they did have that really good video package.
Shinsuke hasn't been around since Royal Rumble.
Really?
I don't remember him being on any episode since Royal Rumble.
Well, he was on the post show. He was on the one right after Rumble because remember he? Yeah, because remember he was like AJ Styles need to face. And,
yeah, but that's it.
But that was all that. Yeah, I think that was the last time
he hasn't wrestled. On. He hasn't wrestled since Royal Rumble, or at least not on.
So yeah, I think the episode SmackDown right after Royal Rumble might have been the last time that he was on. Yeah, now that you bring that up, but yeah, I thought it was. I thought that SmackDown was pretty good. Had some good stuff. Overall, what would you give it, letter grade?
Yeah, there wasn't anything too horrible. I'll give it an A- as well. I mean, the wrestling was solid. The storylines are solid. Like I said, I really enjoyed Kevin's emotions when he was hugging Sammy. I really liked. So I'm gonna give it the same grade, A-. What about you?
I would give it a B. B? Yeah, I'd give it a B. The stuff about it I liked. I'm really intrigued, but I think it was just the fact that Raw just was so massive, just so grandiose, and just had this great big spectacle, and it was a go-home show, so it had this crescendo kind of to lead into Elimination Chamber this weekend. Like, I don't know if it's just that or just what, but yeah, I give it a B. It was good, but just nothing to really kind of go over the top with me where I'm like, oh, amazing, can't miss, but because I was like that with Raw, but it was still good though, not bad by any means. And then and also just randomly, I wanted to bring this up during one of the video packages on Raw, where they're showing all the women who are in the Elimination Chamber match, and then they play like a little soundbite. They played the Sonya Deville saying, "Put your hair up and square up." I like that saying. That's really cool. I don't remember her saying that. And I was just like, put your hair up and square up. I was like, ooh, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think she said that once or twice in NXT, and I don't hate it either. I mean, it's obviously a girl thing to do because I'm not gonna put my hair up because I have no hair.
I could put my hair up, but I wouldn't look like Orlando Bloom in Pirates of the Caribbean. It would look pretty bad. And I'm not going man bun. That's for sure.
But yeah, I think that's kind of a cool statement here.
Just a random thing that popped into my head. I wanted to say.
Yep. Another random thing. The whole mixed match challenge. Mixed match challenge. Man, it's hard to say fast.
It is.
Have you watched any of them?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay. Mandy Rose was with Goldust. That pairing, like after Absolution, I want that pairing. Like it's old school when his ex-wife was with him. The whole Marlena thing, like it was reminiscent of that, and I would like to see Goldust be the manager. Not to say Goldust can't go in the ring. He can still go. And that was one of the whole things. The funny thing about that match is the crowd started chanting, "You still got it," and he's like, "Still got it. I never left me. Like I never lost it." And that whole thing was funny, and just it was reminiscent of him coming into the WWF at the time. WWE, I would like to see that reversed where he is the manager of Mandy Rose, and I like that because I think I've not seen a whole lot of Mandy Rose's wrestling per se, just in the tag team stuff, but I think her personality and with his personality, there was something special there. I really enjoyed during that match. So I hope they do that. I hope they see that and we're gonna put you together.
Yeah,
let's forget the Absolution stuff.
when I saw on social media that they paired them up, because they were just like a last minute thing, right? That they added
because Alicia Fox was hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like when they put those two together, I was like, oh my god, that is freaking brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Putting those two together, and they were doing like a photo shoot, like like they're doing like promo shots, stuff like that, and then they like filmed a promo and stuff like that, and I was just all the pictures they took together and that promo they had together, I was just like, damn, I never would have thought of that, but now that I see it in front of me, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yep,
So,
I agree. I totally agree.
100%
And like
agree
I
with
said,
you.
I think Goldust can go in the ring for as long as he wants, but when he doesn't want to go anymore, I think that's just a natural pairing.
Mm-hmm.
It's reminiscent. It's the reverse. Like I said, the reverse of when he had Marlena. He's now the director, if you will, of Mandy Rose. I think that would work brilliantly, personally.
See, what they do is they bring Velveteen Dream up to Raw, and then have him also be under Goldust.
I agree.
Create the Solid Gold Dancers.
I don't know about that name, but okay. But I agree with that concept. Is they have a stable like Gold. It could go back to Goldust Productions.
Yeah.
Like you could have Velveteen Dream, you could have Mandy Rose, and I'm sure there's tons of other people that could come up kind of similar thing. I think even maybe not the iconic duo, but they could have several of those people be that stable. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, you're onto something, my friend. You totally are. So, all right. So now we will move on to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Only 4 matches because I bet those Elimination Chamber matches are going to go about an hour each. So,
quite possible.
Indeed. So first off, we have Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. In just a singles match, it's not like no holds barred or extreme rules or anything like that. I think Bray. What about you?
Can I say I don't care? It's interesting that they don't have any matches. They were, as far as I know, they were talking about another tag team match, and so it's not on the Wikipedia page. I thought that Sheamus and Cesaro were going to defend their titles against a couple people, and I can't remember who it was. Anyway, with that being said, I think Matt Hardy will win.
Okay. Cool.
All right, next one is Asuka versus Nia Jax, and the stipulation is if Jax wins, she will be added to Asuka's championship match at WrestleMania, whichever person she chooses. She still hasn't chosen between Alexa or Charlotte. So, who do you got in line?
Nobody ready for Asuka. Yeah, I don't see, like, not against Nia Jax at all, this isn't, but I don't see them ending her streak this night in this way.
I agree. I think Asuka will win, and I think after this match, Asuka will challenge Charlotte, and Nia will challenge Alexa at WrestleMania.
Interesting.
I think that's where they're going.
Yeah, because I don't know where they're going with any of it, so...
That's just for me. That's the logical.
So hard.
The logical thing. They want to get seats in. They want to get people in the seats on SmackDown. They need to put a lot of their stars on SmackDown. Asuka is one of those stars that I think they could put on SmackDown. I think Asuka and Charlotte could have some amazing matches. Then they bring up Ember Moon on SmackDown, so that Charlotte can go over to Raw again to wrestle. And I think that's what they need to do. But that's just me.
Okay. So now we have the women's Elimination Chamber match, right?
Yes. Like I said, I don't know who they're going to put. I don't know which one they're going to have finish the show.
Yeah. We have Elimination Chamber match. So yeah, it's Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Mandy Rose versus Mickie James versus Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville. I honestly don't know who I'm going to pick. It's so weird. I think Alexa will probably keep it. Because I think they'll want to keep her and Charlotte as the champions going into Mania, depending on who. So yeah, I think it will be Alexa, but honestly, I just don't know.
Yep. I think personally it's going to be Alexa, but I think there's also a case for Sasha to win. But I think Alexa wins because, like I said, I think it'll be Alexa and Nia at WrestleMania.
Okay.
All right. The last match is the men's Elimination Chamber match for the chance at the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. We got Braun Strowman versus Elias versus Finn Balor versus John Cena versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus probably Hulk Hogan versus probably Doink the Clown versus probably Randy Savage from the grave. No, they got a lot of people in this match, 7 people, and you're probably right. It'll probably be a 3-man start. But anyway, who you got and why? Should we even go over this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there's reasonable doubt to think they could be swerving us, and they may go ahead and give it to Seth. Of all people, like I'm just like, I think they're still gonna go through with Roman because honestly, I think him and Brock would be maybe the best of all these. I think because I think that would just be because if they do still do the, which it sounds like they are, AJ and Shinsuke, that's going to be high flying, going to be very technical, going to be just awesome, and just pure athleticism.
Very Japanese match.
A very New Japan-esque match. Like Roman and Brock, that would just be a heavy hitting slugfest, and I think it'd be kind of neat to have both titles have different matches and different players instead of it being a high flyer versus a brawler. In this case we have a striker / high flyer versus a technician / high flyer, and then over here we have these two brawlers who are really athletic and can do all this crazy stuff.
And right now, the strong rumor is that Braun and Miz will face off at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. That's the strong rumor. That's the very strong, written in pencil match right now. So we'll see. Anyway.
All right. So I think it still will be Roman. Something I wanted to ask myself and you for this is who gets left in with him? Like, who does he last eliminate? It's tough because it's like I wouldn't leave Finn or Seth in there last with him if you want him to go in being a babyface. Like, I would leave Cena or Elias maybe, or maybe Miz. Like, it's kind of tough to see who would you want in there with him last to kind of get more people on his side to lastly eliminate. So it's kind of tough. So I think Roman still will win, but part of me is thinking like, you know what, they may go ahead and switch gears and give it to Seth or maybe even Finn. Who knows? Like, I think it'll be a really awesome match. I'm thinking it'll either be Cena or Elias that's left in there with him. So what about you? What are your thoughts on all this match?
The conspiracy theory person in me says that they have plenty of time between this pay-per-view and WrestleMania to course correct if they wanted to give it to somebody else. If they wanted to make that match bigger, say Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Like, if they wanted to make it a triple threat, I could see them making a case for that. However, with that being said, Roman Reigns, I think, wins. It just makes sense. Looking at the names of who he would be left in, to not hurt Braun or Cena or even Seth and The Miz, I think you're right. Elias would possibly be the last one, but I could see a case for John Cena and Seth Rollins. I could see the case being Seth Rollins being the one who takes the pin at the end, setting it up after WrestleMania. I could see John Cena taking the pin, and him taking the pin as if I could see him coming on Monday night saying, or some kind of video package later saying, "I need to take some time off." He's got movies galore that he's got to make. So I could see him come on and be like, "I'm taking some time off to rethink." Because he kind of did that on Monday night. He's like, "I've got to really refocus if I want to win this."
Yeah.
And so I could see that. I could see this loss, him getting pinned at the last, to be that tip over thing, to where it's like, I'm gonna go take some time off. I don't know if I'm going to be back. And then it sounds like he's going to be on the SmackDown side after WrestleMania. And so I could see, like I said, I could make a couple cases. Elias makes sense. Even though they're trying to build him, I think he's fine taking the pin. I don't think Finn should take the pin at all.
Yeah,
I don't think The Miz should take the pin at all. I think Braun should pin The Miz to further that feud. I think Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, I think one of the things that they want to do is put them together as a tag team to get the tag team titles back, because they're trying to course correct with everybody being hurt and injured.
Yeah, I know, it's so sad.
And actually, I would love to see Seth and Finn as tag team champions. I would love to see that.
That would be cool. You're right.
But Elias, I think Elias and Braun could feud after the Miz feud. But I think John, Elias, and Seth, I think one of those three are going to be pinned.
Okay.
Last. I don't know how they're going to get rid of Braun Strowman. No idea. They're all other 6 other guys.
It's probably going to be
sit on top of him and pin him.
It's probably going to be, what is it? Ripcord knee. Okay.
Yeah.
Coup de grace.
Yep.
AA. Spear. Like it's gonna be
Superman punch.
It's gonna be everything. Like it's gonna be like I'm sure they'll all do their like I think there will be like whoever's left because I'm sure he'll eliminate quite a few people. I'm sure he'll eliminate like quite a few people, and then whoever's left, there'll probably be 3 guys left. Who will have to team up, who will all have to do their finishers in succession to beat him or something like that.
Because we know Elias is coming in last. I forget about that.
Yeah.
Who's coming in first?
Or no, I think it's is it Miz? Didn't he have a match? And then he and then he lost, so he has to come in first.
Yeah. Miz is going in first, so I would like to see the Miz versus Braun Strowman. That would be interesting, and just Miz keep going
just running around, jumping up on top of the pod, like no, hanging
on to the top of it. Here's the thing: this match is going to be amazing. Like it's going to be. There's so many things going through our minds that I'm sure that they probably thought about. It's just going to be fun to watch. How are they going to pin Braun Strowman? Are they going to throw everything at him and then pin him, or they're all going to just pin him, or how are they going to do that? I
want to see Roman spear somebody through a pod Goldberg style.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that.
There's so many things that could happen, and so I'm stoked about that match.
I am. I can't wait. Super excited. Super excited. So, just real quick before we give everybody the go home and head out of here to enjoy the rest of our Fridays, what do you think is going to happen with the contract signing with Ronda Rousey? Do you think somebody's going to come out and like challenge her to a match next week on Raw, or challenge her to a match at Mania, or something like that? Or do you think what do you think is going to happen?
They're going to have to if the plan is somehow her and Stephanie wrestling at WrestleMania with some kind of combo, they're going to have to start that.
Okay.
Like Ronda's going to have to be visible for the next couple of months to start something. Like she's going to have to be at Raw. She's going to have to be.
Yeah. She's going to have to get some TV matches under her belt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So she's going to have to do something. And the promo package that they had for her inside the wrestling ring, like she doesn't look half bad right now.
Yeah.
So one of the packages, I'm assuming that was inside a wrestling ring. Like she looks legit, and so. But I agree with you. She needs to be in the ring, and so I think they're going to have to start something with her and Stephanie, or even her and Triple H with this contract signing. I don't know where this is going to be placed. Like if it's going to be before the Elimination Chamber match, or after the Women's Elimination Chamber match.
Like I was thinking they might maybe sandwich it in between the 2 chamber matches. But that's just
it would make sense. But I don't know. What do you have any thoughts? Because I don't know.
I just had the thought of like what's gonna happen there. Like I didn't think of like what would happen. I was just thinking like, I wonder what will happen. Like I wasn't actually like fantasy booking like, oh, this will happen, this will happen. But like part of me is thinking, because a lot of people are thinking that it'll be her and Rock versus Steph and Trips, that The Rock will somehow appear. Like maybe Stephanie and Triple H will come out and they'll like start razzling her and giving her grief, and then Rock will come out and just be like, why don't we finish what we did 3 years ago, WrestleMania, and do his whole thing, and then so that'd be neat. That's like probably the top thing that I want, because I think in that match, if they do in fact do that at WrestleMania, they could kind of hide some of her greenness if she just has some things that are kind of holes in her game this early. And then also, but they could also work in some good highlights for her too. So,
do you think, just spitballing here, do you think, how much time we got left?
2 minutes.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask this question. I'll ask you off air.
Oh, okay.
Because we only have 2 minutes before you got to push stop. So that's it.
That's fair.
All right, see you guys later.
Well, so yeah, that's what we got in store. We got Elimination Chamber this weekend. Cannot wait. We will see you guys next week. I don't know if we'll do a special Monday Fallout episode or not, but or if we'll just wait for Friday to talk about everything. But yeah, Elimination Chamber. Sign up for WWE Network and check it out, because it'll be amazing. So,
agreed.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. This is Caleb.
This is Jeremy.
Signing off.
Peace.